My name is Alan Lawrence. Been the marketing director, video content creator for Rod's Heroes. I am a blogger. I'm a dad of 6 kids. When I started with Rod's Heroes, we were kind of in a little bit of a bind because China had just shut down all of their international adoptions. And so I felt inspired to get on a website to look at other options for children with Down syndrome who needed their stories to be told. As soon as I got on this website that had some profiles of children, orphans who needed adopting, I saw this little boy named Vaughn, and I was immediately drawn to him. I just felt like a pull to want to understand his story and tell his story. I just happened to notice at the bottom of his profile this little link to a video. Even though he wasn't talking or doing much, you could get a sense of his personality. Just very gentle, sweet, loving kid. So for me, having a son with Down syndrome and just seeing Vaughn and knowing that all these efforts have gone forward to help him find his family to no avail, for me it was just frustrating to know that he has so much potential, just knowing from my own son. And I'm sure there's so many families out there with fears of the unknown that were keeping them from leaning into their inspiration. It was one of those things where I felt like I was being guided to do something, and as soon as I was able to put that video in place, I felt like something was going to happen. It was one of those feelings that is just like sort of indescribable, that I knew his family was out there and that this little video was the missing piece of the puzzle that needed to be put out so that his family could find him. Even just knowing someone with Down syndrome plants a seed in your heart for people with Down syndrome that enables you to sort of look past their diagnosis. And when I saw Vaughn, I just immediately thought about the joy that my son brings to me, and that, I would say, fueled my inspiration and drive and motivation to want him to find a family and not end up aging out and ultimately going to live in an institution for the rest of his life and not spread the joy and light and potential that I, without meeting him, felt and knew that he had. I remember just feeling overcome with emotion because I wanted him to have that experience of having a family so much, and I was just willing to go to work. It was pretty immediate after I put the post of Vaughn live that we started to get some interaction, and families were responding and asking questions. And I think that says a lot about the video and the need for that video of Vaughn, that missing piece, and the power of a video, even without words, of telling a story for these kids. There is a change that needs to happen and is happening for the advocacy for these kids. Vaughn's story is a perfect example of that change that is happening and needs to happen for these kids so that they can find their families. I can't imagine him going to an institution for the rest of his life when he ages out and not being able to share his light. And I just imagine the light that he has, even from just seeing that little video of him, that gentleness, just dwindling as he would go into an institution and eventually just dim out. And that was heartbreaking to think about. So I remember the first time seeing Vaughn in the airport, months of like thinking about him and just waiting for his family to come and bring him home. And then there he was standing right in front of me. I was just overjoyed. And I remember thinking, I don't know what to say to Vaughn. He's just like a celebrity to me. And I walked up to him and his first words to me were, "What's up?" And I just was like overcome with emotion. And he gave me the biggest hug. I'm like, I knew he was like this from the video. And then to think that he was joining a family. He now had a brother his age who also had Down syndrome. And just the excitement of these two getting to know each other, it was pretty overwhelming and a lot of joy. For the longest time was trying to imagine what you're experiencing when you're over there and you're with a foster family. Are they treating you well, and how's it going? And then here he was to see this happy beginning, his new life with his family.